What good is melody? What good is music if it ain't possessing something sweet? Now it ain't the melody and it ain't the music. There's something else that makes this tune complete. Yes, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Well, it don't mean a thing. All you got to do is sing. It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Just give that rhythm everything you got. Yes, don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing, don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing, boy. I said don't mean a thing, and all you got to do is sing like la 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 do 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 do. Now it makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Just to give that rhythm everything you got. Oh, don't be a thing, boy, if it ain't got a swinger. Take it from me.
I have 601.
Perfect. We'll let Miss Waylander make her way back up here. We'll start with introductions so we can get Brian and Joel on the road. Yeah. All right, good evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to do a brief introduction real quick. My name is Kim Breuer, or Mrs. B. I am the 5th grade band director at L.B. Williams.
And I teach at Longfellow. I am the 5th grade band director and the school counselor at Longfellow Elementary.
And I'm Hannah Waylander. I'm at Gertie Bell Rogers, and I am K through 5 music.
Real quick, we have invited the middle school and high school band directors. We want to make sure that you know who they are, so we'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Joel Van Persum, Mr. VP, and I am the middle school band director, so I will see all of you next year. I'm super excited to see all of you out tonight, trying out different instruments and learning more about them.
Hi, I'm Ryan Staley, band director here at the high school. I just wanted to quickly, I know you didn't come to hear me talk, but I want to just real quickly give a plug for these 4 wonderful teachers. Your kids are going to be in wonderful hands when they start here in 5th grade, and if they make it through 5th grade, they're going to be in wonderful hands for 3 years, and after that, then you're going to be with a washed up, seen as better days at the high school band director here at the high level. I'm just kidding. These people do a wonderful job, and I would just like to real quickly say to the parents, first of all, thank you for allowing your kids to try this. And probably the biggest thing for me at the final level is, work with your kids on establishing, a good practice routine, and don't let them give up. Okay, the reward at the end, we're blessed to have a very successful program here at the high school. It starts with all of this right here. Once they get that established, it's going to bleed positively into everything that they do in their life, and it's going to be wonderful. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so we've done this a few times. We're going to try to rock and roll and get you guys back on the road right away. We have a couple of short goals for the meeting. Provide information regarding the band program and what that looks like for you at home and at school for your students. Help your child select an instrument. I believe GBR and LB Williams have actually tested on all of the instruments. Kids have had a chance to play them. And Longfellow has mouthpiece tested. So if your child is Gertie Bell or LB Williams, they probably have an idea already of what they want to sign up for. Longfellow, they would be allowed if they want to try something out on stage and just make sure. or they can meet with one of us and we'll gladly help with that as well. And then answer any questions you may have. I'm going to pass this over to you.
All right, we have, when you purchase a band instrument, I like to consider it like a car. When you give that car to your beginner driver, you want to make sure it's in good working condition, but it doesn't necessarily have to be worth millions of dollars. The other thing is all cars are not created equal, neither are instruments. And if they are not working properly, it's going to be a struggle for the kids. And you want to make sure that that instrument is good. If you have them in any doubt, our 3 companies are here. We have Be Aware of Instrument-Shaped Objects. A few years back, a couple of countries started making some instruments that looked like instruments, kind of sounded like instruments, but they're very, very cheap, and when they break, they cannot be fixed. So you just spent some money on an instrument, and then I have to call you up and say, I'm sorry, but this instrument is not going to be replaceable. And you would never buy a car if you couldn't change the wheels. So just be aware of that. If you have any questions about whether an instrument is going to be of good quality, send it to school and we can, or shoot me an email and let me see that. That way we can tell if it's a reputable instrument.
So when it says beware the ISO phenomenon, instrument-shaped objects, and one rule of thumb is, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you go to buy it and it has a pair of white gloves in the case, that is probably not going to be a horn that any music store will fix, and it will have issues. Only because I have had several of them cycle through the program and unfortunately watched them break in a child's first lesson. So if you don't know, please send a link to us. All 3 of us would be more than willing to help guide you through this. If you're trying to find a deal somewhere, make sure it's a good deal, and then make sure that we have signed off on it. I'll be very honest with you. I bought a lot of things on eBay and Amazon, and I'll tell you if you're going to get your money's worth out of it or not. So I have no problem. You find somebody on Marketplace, you can message it to me. I'll gladly tell you if it's a thumbs up or thumbs down. We do have 3 reputable dealers here tonight that have horns that you could walk away with an instrument at the end of the evening. And so I want to give each of them just a quick moment to share. And I know we have Jason over here from Schmidt Music. I'll let him come up first.
Hello. That was kind of weak, I'm going to be honest. My name is Jason Ratliff, and I am going to I took some notes, and I just want to throw some numbers out at you, okay? So 21 years, that's how long I've been with Schmidt Music. It's a long time. We have 12 stores, 125 years as a family-owned business. We've been around since the late 1800s, which is weird to say. We're a 6th generation family-owned business. We've actually been in Sioux Falls for almost 50 years. This is kind of crazy to kind of read this. I was just reading this out, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. We help 14,000 students start every year. We have the #1 program in the country with the most flexibility. $35 gets you started with whatever instrument you want to start with tonight, and it actually takes care of your first 4 months. $35 and you get 4 months. You also, this isn't really a number, but it's free. We give you a free book and a stand tonight. We kind of do that when we go out to schools, just kind of as a celebration of the next coming year. So, and it is free. You don't pay for it. So you get a free book and a stand. 100% of your payments go towards purchase. And that also means that you can switch. So if you start on, who wants to play saxophone? Any saxophone players? Yeah? They're kind of heavy. You got big muscles? If you want to switch to a clarinet, that money would follow you to a clarinet. It also would follow you to our upgrade program. You get 100% of that instrument's value, whatever you pay into that, would upgrade into a nicer one. So let's talk about clarinets. Clarinets start with a plastic clarinet, right? And then if you want to upgrade, usually about 8th, 9th grade, you want to get something nicer, 100% of that goes to the nicer one. And the best number of all, there's no interest in our program. You only pay for what you're getting. So that's kind of a rundown, come see us. Schmidt Music, we're right over here. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Dave Williams from here in town. Oh, never mind, I'm sorry, I introduced Dave. Oh, go ahead, Dave. Sorry. Psych.
Well, the other guy is better looking, but I am Dave Williams, Williams Musical and Oscar from here in Mitchell. I came over to Mitchell in 1975, started working for Mitchell Music, and I started attending programs like this, so it's been quite a long time. Anyway, my thing is repair, but I do rent instruments, and so if you want to stop back and talk with me after a while, like I said, I am local, and I will try hard to take care of you. I represent a company called NEMC, and so you can go to nemc.com on your phone or your computer, and I'll explain that if you stop back. All the instruments are shipped right to your home, or if for some reason you don't want to do that, you can ship them to me. But the instruments are shipped to your home, and then my purpose in this is the service of the instruments if needed, and any kind of help you need otherwise. So anyway, stop back and visit with me, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
All right, and we have Rollin from Poplars Music.
Good evening. Yes, I'm Rollin, and I'm with Poplars Music. We're at the table right over on this side, on your left. I've been doing this is my 8th year now of being the road rep for Mitchell for Poplars Music, and I work closely with all the directors here. We have a rental plan that works really well. It's a 4-month plan. $35 covers that full 4-month period. It also includes your book and your music stand. Now, after the 4 months is done, which is going to be in January, that's when your monthly payments start. And the monthly payments are based on the price of the instrument. Most instruments are going to be in that $25 to $30 to $35 price range. Now, if you do a saxophone or a euphonium or like a French horn, those are more expensive instruments, so they're going to be around $60 to $70 per month. The nice thing is every penny that you pay on the monthly payment goes towards purchase price. So your instrument will be paid off within 3 years or less. It is a month-to-month, so if you decide that it's not working for you, you just return the instrument. You can contact your band director and say, I'm going to return the instrument, I'll stop at the school and I'll pick it up. If you got a flyer from Poplars Music, you can also go online. If you didn't want to come over to the table tonight, go online and do the online rental, and I'll bring your instrument out to your school on Monday, because I stop here every Monday. We do have what's called repair and maintenance also. So for $7 a month, we will do anything to fix the instrument. You're just covered. It's like an insurance policy. So if you don't have the repair and maintenance, you just pay for any repairs that might be needed, but it's kind of nice to have that insurance policy for that. You can also switch instruments. So let's say you rent a flute and you decide later on that you want to do a clarinet. Just let us know again, and I'll bring a clarinet out, and we'll make the swap. So again, within usually 3 years, instruments are paid off. Every penny goes to purchase, and $35 is for a 4-month period.
Okay, we're going to talk about the flute. Not everyone can make a sound on the flute. You can blame your mom and dad, because it's how your lips and your teeth and everything kinds of goes together. So every once in a while, we'll have a student that really tries and it doesn't happen. We have some real ones here, so if you are and you have not made a sound for your teacher, you need to try that, especially my Longfellow students. Please try with just the mouthpiece. Braces will not make a huge difference. It is small, it is easy to carry. Now, regardless of what instrument you start, if it's not working and you can't make a sound, we're going to be contacting the parents. We're going to sit down and have a conversation, because sometimes there's a better fit. And before you just get totally frustrated and want to quit. And it happens usually about once a year. I have somebody that I will switch October, November, somewhere in there. And it's no big deal. It's just we're just going to try something different. Because if you're not having fun, you're not going to practice. And flute's one of those that can become frustrating fast.
So the clarinet and saxophone, they're similar to the recorder. If your student succeeded at recorder, that would be a good choice for them. But also, they can be very high maintenance because they also have the most keys and the most buttons and the most things that can break. So saxophones are quite expensive. Clarinets are on the cheaper side of the realm, but you can start on clarinet and always switch to saxophone in middle school as a secondary instrument for jazz band. Hint, hint, we need clarinets. All right, brass instruments.
You want me to do it? Yeah. Okay. We had different plans, but here we are. Brass instruments. So we have the trumpet, the French horn, the trombone, and the baritone. Okay, the size of a person's lips can be an issue, okay? If you have really, really big lips like French horn, trumpet, might be more difficult for you. The thinner the lips, the easier it's going to be with brass. Yeah. And see, I'm in the middle, so who knows where I stand here. I can. Braces can be an issue, especially on the smaller of the mouthpiece, like the trumpet and the French horn, just because of how tight your mouth has to be when you play, right? Kids, we were talking about that in cloud, like the, right? Remember this? Yeah. So the tighter your mouth is, more your lips are going to rub on those braces, and it's not going to feel great.
With that said, if you know that your kid is not getting braces for a couple of years and they want to start on a brass instrument, that's fine. That happens all the time. We just tell them, you kind of relearn how to play a little bit once you get that extra layer inside your lips. So it is totally doable, but it will feel a little bit different once that switchover happens. And if your child ever does need to get braces, we really ask that you try to not schedule that within 3 days of a concert, because that has happened and it makes a huge difference.
I have, no, I was going to talk about the trumpet. And I have taught for 35 years band and started kids, and you can start with braces. You can do anything you set your mind to. It might be a little painful, it might be a little hard, but there again, if it's not working after a few weeks, we're going to let you know. Now, percussion. The Mitchell Band Program recommends 2 years of piano before starting percussion. We recommend this because they're going to start 2 instruments. They'll do the bells first, and then they'll switch over to the snare drum. And we have just found they are more successful that way. Both schools, all 3 schools, start on the mallets, and we have an extra book, we'll talk about that in a minute, for the mallet players on themselves. Yeah. There it is. So our lesson book will be the Tradition of Excellence for everybody, needs that red book. The percussion need the red book and the Fresh Approach in mallet, that one. And you will see those. You can get these tonight here. You can get them online. Make sure if you do something online, though, that you make sure you check the right box, if that would be what happens. So you don't end up with a flute book and you're playing clarinet.
And if you do sign up for percussion, you will need the bells set at home, and we kind of differ. You just require a practice pad or also snare? It can be a practice pad. Okay. I prefer my students to have a snare drum, and Miss Waylander have one as well. Again, we do have those type of things are available through purchase tonight. We do have some available for school checkout as well, but they don't have to bring those back and forth. They can leave percussion equipment at home, bring it the first week so we can show you how to set it up, and then after that, it can stay at home and we have equipment they can set up in our classrooms.
Okay, lessons will be held during school time, so that we consider school time like 8:10 to about 3:30. Sometimes you'll have an after school, but those parents will be talked to and before school in advance. They will be sent, a schedule is sent home, and then as soon as we can get them scheduled, but probably the earliest will not be next week, but the following Monday. At least 2, yeah, at least, so not next week, the following week. Weekly practice sheets will be sent home. We ask you to write down how many minutes a day they practice and then add them up, let the kids add them up, and then the parents sign them. For my kids, they get points for those. And I can tell this is directly towards all the kids. You come in and you have a perfect practice sheet every single day, but yet you can't tell me what number you practiced. What page are you on? I don't know. And you aren't making good sounds. I know your practice sheet is probably not accurate. All right, if you are sick a day, go ahead and write sick. If you were on trips, write that in there. That is okay. Rarely does anyone ever have a perfect 20 minutes every single day, every week. It's just not possible. My kids didn't do it even, and I was the music teacher.
I just look at it as a communication device between you and me. So if your kid didn't practice, sign that, so that I know that you're aware that your child hasn't been practicing. And likewise, I'll write notes. Did you sign this? Is this your signature, or did your... We've had that a couple times before. And also, we had a colleague of mine who does, in fact, sign like a third grader, and I didn't know it and called him out on it. So, but make sure you're signing it. If we ever call it to question, we'll let you know. But it's our chance to say to you, hey, here's what we did this week. Here's what we did today. Here's what your child should be looking at home. I don't expect you guys to fill out the sheets. That is their responsibility. Once a week, you put eyes on it, sign it, and we'll call it good. Yep.
And again, I think Longfellow said this, but I give out points for those practice sheets. So again, even if they're not like perfectly filled out, just sign it and bring it to me. Because even if it's empty, they still get points for that. It's kind of like homework.
Yeah. Band is graded. So band will show up on your report cards, and we'll actually put comments on there as well. And they get 2 grades from us. They get a grade for practice and effort, and then literacy. So like music competency and literacy. So how are they playing, and how's their responsibility at putting all of the components into place?
Not a letter grade. It's like your music grade. Plus, check, minus.
Plus, minus, yeah. What's the most important thing for parents to do? Encourage your child to practice. And practice doesn't always have to be what you think it is. So if you're driving in the car and they have their book and their trumpets at home, but you can see them in the back seat doing their fingering, that's practice. If they're going through and saying the letter names of their songs, not writing it in, but saying their letter names out loud, that's practice. Doesn't always have to be horn in hands for that to count. But mostly, make it enjoyable, make it fun. Oh, I heard you playing out there. What song was that? Will you play it for me? Once a week, encourage your child to play something for you. Please don't ban them to the garage or the bathroom or the backyard. I mean, you can do that, but if you're doing that, please also make sure you're pulling them back in and being proud of what they're working on. And it's gonna not even sound like hot cross buns that first couple weeks. It might be 3 weeks before you recognize a song. Sorry, kids. But celebrate that successes with them. They need to know that you hear what's happening. And there's gonna be some pretty amazing things happening over the next month in your houses, you guys. Not everything is easy. There will be a time at some point where it's gonna get hard, and how do you persevere through that? And this is where I think band is so applicable to everything in life. We all have things that have been a struggle, that haven't been easy. If everybody did only what was easy, there would be so many things undone in this world. So it's up to you to take that challenge. Once the instrument starts getting hard, do you just give up? Or do you push through and what your weaknesses are to get stronger, to get past that? Okay? And it's that important, I'm gonna make it spin around in a circle. Instrument assembly. Once your child has an instrument, even if they have not had a lesson yet, we're doing something new. So on my website, mrsbsmusicclass.com, and all of us will send that link out. I actually have a page for band, and they're just YouTube playlists that I've cultivated that have flute lessons. How to take it out of the case, how to put oil on it, how to put it together, how to put your mouth, how to make a sound. And each of them are about 2-minute videos, and it's like 10 videos to get from opening the case to playing the first 3 notes. And we have them for every instrument up there. I think I have done this about 5 years now, and the success rate of my kids coming in their first lesson and being able to put the horn together successfully, correctly, and play a sound is huge, and that has just helped our first lesson to kick off by playing, instead of spending our first lesson with 20 minutes of just putting the horn together and taking it apart. So I highly encourage, once your children have a horn, to do that. If they're using a school instrument through me, I will allow them to take it home before that first lesson for that weekend before to practice putting it together. But this is if you have internet access to be able to watch. If not, we'll have you meet with us privately and we'll work out a plan where you can do that before or after school. But we want you to make sure that you're watching the video and doing it step by step with the person online, not just, whee, open the case and roll. We also have a special preview night where all of your students, along with the middle school band, are invited to homecoming to cheer on the marching band. We'll meet over here about 5 o'clock. We will march over with the high school marching band. Your fifth graders will sit in the stand with the high school marching band, cheer on the football team, and then they will get to sit on the sidelines right on the edge of Joe Quintal and watch and cheer for the high school marching band as they perform their halftime show. And we have a really cool show this year. I'm excited if you get to go to the football game on Friday. That'll be our first time with our very large prop.
Kids, we get in free. We will march back. Parents, we do ask that you pick them up after halftime. If you've come to the game, that's fine. You can go. They go sit with you after the show, or they'll come back here and you'll pick them back up at the thing. We also have them wear black and gold, and I'm hoping that this year it's going to be warm enough that we can see the black and gold t-shirts after spending the 103 degrees Saturday. It's got to be nice, right?
And if you do go to the game that night, after the game is done, that will be our lights out show. They turn off all the lights in the stadium, and the band puts glow sticks on their bodies and on their feet, and they do their whole show in the dark. And so your children can stay, but only if they're with you for that portion. They'll be dismissed after the halftime performance. But that's also that night as well for your calendar.
And I just really want to stress that you really make sure whether you're picking your kids up or staying with them for the game, because me and Kim are both on the marching band staff, so we cannot sit around and wait for you to pick up your kid because we have to go take care of more kids. Yeah.
Should I say that in the microphone? We need your children picked up so we can go duct tape a bunch of glow sticks to teenagers. So, packaging tape, sorry. It is. Us music teachers, we live on the edge. All right, here's what you've been waiting for the whole time. Dig out your smartphones, open the camera, and point your camera at this QR code, and then it will open up an internet browser where you can do your online registration right here. If you can't get it to work, I do have a couple of devices down front here that I'll borrow out to you to use. And if you don't know yet for sure what instrument, you don't have to fill it out yet. The three of us will be emailing this along with the handout, along with a video of tonight's presentation. Tomorrow you'll get those emails from us and you can fill it out at any time. Anything else?
But if you could please have it filled out by...
Ideally before the weekend.
Yeah, before the weekend. That would be the greatest.
The sooner you have it down, the sooner we start looking for instruments, we start talking to teachers about schedules. The sooner we know, the better, because we're going to spend the next 4 days catching all the people who aren't here tonight. So again, reach out to any of us with questions. We're going to hang out here for a while. You are now highly encouraged and welcome to come visit the vendors up on stage. Again, here's the sign up. Come see us if you need it. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Yeah, on the handout, it has this QR code and the actual URL if you can't get the QR to work. If you are signing up for flute, you can come down by Mrs. Krell or Miss Waylander and test out flutes.